What if I told you the Apostle Paul described neuroplasticity 2,000 years before neuroscience had a name for it? In Ephesians, Paul says, put off the old man, be renewed in the spirit of your mind. Put on the new man. That's not theology, that's process. It's the same process we now understand as how the brain rewires itself. Let's break it down. The old man Paul talks about is not just sin behavior, it's patterns. It's the way you've learned to respond to stress, to pain, to rejection, and fear. It's what you automatically do before you even think. Neuroscience calls that conditioned pathway. Repeated behavior becomes wired. Wired behavior becomes automatic. Automatic behavior starts to feel like identity. That's why people say, this is just who I am. Paul says, no, that's who you've become through repetition. Then he says, put it off, not suppress it, not ignore it, interrupt it. When that urge hits, when the reaction starts to rise, you don't follow it. That moment right there is where the brain can begin to change. Because every time you don't reinforce a pattern, you weaken it. But Paul doesn't just stop there, because stopping alone doesn't work. If you try not just to not do something, your brain will default back to it. But he says, be renewed in the spirit of your mind. This is the turning point. This is where you change how you interpret reality, because your brain doesn't just respond to what happens. It responds to what you believe about what happens. So renewal means you bring truth into the moment. Not just once, but repeatedly. You train your attention. You reshape your thinking. You align your mind with truth again and again and again. And what fires together, wires together. When Paul says, put on the new man, that means you don't just remove the old pattern, you replace it. You practice something new. Instead of reacting in anger, you pause and respond. Instead of escaping, you engage. Instead of isolating, you connect. At first, it feels unnatural because it is. But with repetition and the grace of God, that new response gets stronger, faster, more automatic, until one day, it's not forced anymore. It's who you are. This is the part most people miss. You don't eliminate old pathways by trying harder. You replace them by building better ones. Paul said, put off, be renewed, put on. Neuroscience says, interrupt, repattern, reinforce. The same process, different language. So transformation is not magic, and it's not instant. It's formation. It's repeated practice of truth until your brain, your responses, and your identity come into alignment with how God designed you to live. You are not stuck, my friends. You are patterned. And patterns can be rewired. Call Dan Cross for a counseling appointment at 918-844-4148 and get my books on Amazon, Fully Christ, Thorn in My Flesh, and Rewired for Joy. Call Dan Cross 918-844-4148.